Introduction. David was sick this past week, so the classes we had were different, but productive just the same. With all the new technology that David is using in our class, such as a smart pen, it makes it possible to do things from the comforts of home. I think it is definitely the most involved class I have ever had as far as computer usage. I am grateful for the things we have experienced thus far with using all the technology, because it really broadened my horizons and has given me new skills. Through technology this past week, I was still able to do things, learn things, and question things. What I did. The things we did this past week involved some newer technologies. For example, on Tuesday, since David was sick, I watched the pencast he made about momentum. Outside of class that day, I hate to admit, but I didn't do anything towards physics. I really feel bad. In class the following Thursday, I worked with my group and we filmed a motion of billiards balls for Project 3. Outside of class over the weekend, I wrote Wdal 11 and made the podcast for it. What I learned. There were things I learned this past week with the aid of the technology we used. In Tuesday's pencast class, I learned that rotational motion is different from linear motion, but it uses a lot of the same principles. Outside of class that day, I didn't learn anything for physics because, again, I didn't do anything. When Thursday rolled around, I learned that billiards balls actually do separate at 90 degrees after collision, just like David said. Outside of class over that weekend, I learned that you can actually analyze momentum in Logger Pro and see what David is talking about. What I want or need to know. Of course, with anything new, I came up with a few questions about what I had done and learned in physics class. Tuesday caused me to question what the sum of mass times the radius squared means again. Outside of class that day, I didn't question anything because I didn't do anything. From activities in class on Thursday, I wanted to know why the high-speed camera didn't work for us. Over the weekend, I was thinking about how we could use momentum in our third TIM. Conclusion. This past week's use of technology caused me to do things, learn things, and question things. I didn't stop and think too much about how technology has such a huge effect on our lives. Schooling is so much different now than it was even 20 years ago. Those people who went to school 20 years ago are now heads of huge companies. I can't even imagine what it will be like to have generations taking over that have had so much technological background. This class has shown me that new ways of doing things are constantly coming about.